Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. It is now tomorrow, in a manner of speaking, and it's time to harvest. Actually, I thought I was starting, pardon me, I thought I was going to start with this field, but actually I think we'll start with the big one. That's what I'm really interested to see most, how much we're going to get off of that gigantic expanse of land. You'll probably notice that the farm is a lot emptier than it was last time. While I was seeding yesterday, I started selling all of the equipment that we're no longer going to be needing, or at least the equipment that we're not going to be taking to the farm with us, the new farm. So I sold off all the baling equipment, the mowers. I sold off the seeder when I got done with that, my fertilizer spreaders, the sprayers, pretty much everything except for what I'm going to need to finish this harvest, and my tractors. You know what? Actually, I don't want to do that because this trailer does not fold up into the header. So I'm going to need to park this out of the way. Yeah, I think as long as I leave myself enough room to get that first northern pass done, I should be fine. Okay. Now let's hook up this header. All right, so as I was saying, I sold off most of the other equipment. I got about, I don't know, around 500,000 for it. Let's see. Sold vehicles, 464,000 is what I got for the equipment. We made almost 20,000 on the solar panel, which is pretty nice. We had the big potato contract for 60,000, so we were actually in the black yesterday, which is a first. All right, so with the money that I brought in, I used that to pay off a good size piece of the loan. Yesterday, when we last spoke, my loan was around 1.4 million, so it's now paid down to 900,000. Oh, I didn't want to turn it off. All right, let's unfold the harvester, and let's see what this baby can do. I think I'll do one pass around the field myself, and then I'll just use the regular hired worker. I'm not going to use Courseplay on this one. Although I will say that Courseplay did a great job seeding the field yesterday. I did have to stop and refill it 3 times. No, I had to refill it 2 times. So it took like 3 loads of seed and fertilizer. But it did go around that light tower with no problem at all. I was busy doing something else, and I came back, and it was already past it. So did a great job there. I'm going to turn off the straw swath because I'm not going to collect straw. Well, actually, there's no straw anyway. We're doing soybeans, so never mind. I really like how quiet this thing is. It's marvelous. I thought the Rossel mash that I was using before had kind of a harsh engine whine that I didn't really like very much. But this has a nice low rumble, and it's not very loud at all. Well, let's stay on track here, guys. Right, so most of the irregularities in the field shape are on the north end. So I think I'll just, after I do 1 or 2 headlands, I think I'll just harvest it from south to north, north to south. And that way we should avoid having too many problems there. And I do have these guardrails close to this road. That gave my tractor some problems when I was seeding. It seems like course play is not quite as intelligent with obstacles as the hired workers are. And it would try to drive over the guardrails and things like that. So I actually had to get the tractor unstuck a couple of times. You can see that we have some a few weeds here and there, where I missed a few small spots, but it's just, those are just small areas that got missed. For the most part, we've got everything here. Oh, and I also figured out why the seeder was not going at full speed. And it was because it needed maintenance. It was below 50% maintenance. So I took it to the shop and repaired it and came back, and then it started doing its work at 18 kph like it should be. So that shows that course play is taking the maintenance adjusted implement speed into account. I don't know if it has any choice but to do that, but that was the reason for it. Yeah, we're slowing down a little bit here. I think it's just because the terrain is kind of uneven in this little section here, and parts of the header are dragging on the ground. But I think this is going to be a pretty huge harvest because I'm not even halfway around the field, and I've already got 5,000 liters in the tank. And this particular harvester has that massive man-sized tank of 17,000 liters, which I'm pretty happy about. That means it can work for quite a while before it needs to be emptied. And then I've got that 60,000 liter tipper, so I can empty it 3 times plus a little bit more before I need to take it and empty the tipper. And I think what I'm going to do, as I've done previously, is I'll just take it to the sell point as I collect it. You know, once the tipper's full, I'll make a trip to sell it, and then come back and continue the job. Once we get on our new farm, I think one of my earlier objectives will be to get a truck so that we can deposit our harvest into the silo as we're doing the harvest, and then use a truck with a high capacity trailer to take the grains to be sold. That would possibly be the next step on this farm too, if we were going to stay here after we got our second seeder. So we'll see if we have enough money to do that. I think I was kind of looking at the numbers, and I should be able to, I think I'll end up getting around 1.7 million for my fields when I sell all my fields here. But I do still owe 900,000 on the loan. So once I sell all my buildings and my fields, I'll probably be left with less than €1 million. But I'm expecting to get probably 400,000 or more from this harvest. So we should be going to the new farm with at least $1 million in the bank, no loan, and our 4 vehicles, which I think is going to put us in a great position to get started over there. I'll have to check and see how much the land costs in the new place. Really, we'll probably have to borrow some money as soon as we get there, because we'll need to buy a couple of big fields. So assuming that costs us, maybe $1 million, we probably won't have quite enough money left over to get all of the equipment that we'll need for the farm, at least not right away. So we can, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there. we should be off to a better start than we would have been. Well, see, with this map, it's like I've said before, this map is not your typical Giants map. If you just go and start a new game on it from scratch, you start with a very generous complement of equipment. Just as good or even better than what I've got now. So we're gonna, for the sake of realism, we're gonna bypass all of that. I'm not gonna take anything that comes with the map, except for the buildings and some things like that are really integral to the experience on that map. But I'm not going to take all the wonderful tractors and implements that you would normally start with on that map. So anyway, if we compare what we're leaving here with to what we arrived with, I guess would be a reasonable measure of our success. We started with $1.25 million. I think we had a loan of $500,000, or maybe it was $250,000. I don't remember off the top of my head now. Yeah, it was $250,000. So we started off with $1 million net, let's say, and that was it. And now we'll be leaving with probably, we'll be leaving with more than $1 million and 4 nice vehicles. And one of which is totally high end, which is this harvester. The T8 I would consider to be a long-term, late game tractor, if you want to think of farm sim in terms of early game and late game. It's something you work up to, and you can, once you upgrade your way to a T8, you can pretty much stay with that for the rest of the game and get a lot done with it. So so I think we didn't do too badly. Then again, I have played this map for 70 some hours, and I'm only getting out of here with a little bit of money and 4 machines, so maybe we didn't do so good. No, I'm just kidding. I think we're doing fine. All right, so checking back in here, we're about no, we're not even close to halfway done. We're about 1/3 of the way done with this field. On the harvest, I've already filled and sold 1 full load, and that included the stuff that I had put into the silo earlier. I was having trouble with the trailer that I had. I couldn't get the harvester to unload. So what I had to do is sell it and get a different one. Now I was using a modded version of that trailer. So the first thing I tried was getting rid of that and then getting the regular version. And I couldn't get the harvester to unload into that either. So I get rid of that, and now I'm leasing this TAW30, which seems to be working fine. It does have less capacity though, but it still holds 45,000, I believe. So it's 2 full loads plus part of another one, which is not bad. And then I've sold all the buildings on the farm, sold the cows, sold the milk, sold the cow barn. So we're really just down to the bare essentials that we need to continue running here until we finish up the harvest and wrap things up. Now you may notice that my money for having just sold a full load, my money is down to 4,000, but that's because I paid back part of the loan again. So as I get money in here, I'll pay down the loan. So we're down to only 360 left on the loan. So we're doing good there. So we might even be able to pay off the entire loan just with the harvest, and then we'll leave here with whatever money we have from our fields. But you can see now it's we're pretty much ready to get out of here. When I sold the cow barn, it left all of the manure, which I was surprised to see. Didn't leave any slurry or anything else, though, just the manure and the grass. So I kept the solar panel because that'll continue to make us money until we're ready to go. And I left the workshop and the fuel tank just in case I need gas or need to do a repair. So I'll continue on with this harvest, and once the harvest is complete, we'll hook back up again so that I can get all the land sold, and we'll see what our final figures look like before we depart for our new home. So we'll see you again soon. All right, folks, we're done. Harvest has been complete. I've sold off most of everything. We got quite a good income on that harvest. If we look at our finances, let's go down to harvest income, $473,000. That's more than I was expecting. And we didn't even cut grass and sell silage bales this time, so it could have been even better. But the good news is that the loan, as you'll see down on the bottom, is now zero, completely paid off with almost $6,000 to spare. So let's take a look at how we did today. We sold $110,000 worth of vehicles. Sold a bunch of stuff yesterday. $464K, about $200,000 in buildings. We got $56,000 for the cows. Another $10,000 or so from the solar panel, and then the harvest. So that was enough to pay off all of the loan and leave us a few dollars to buy lunch on the way to Fenton Forest. We do still have a couple more things to sell before we leave. We've got the workshop, so let's get that sold, and the solar panel, we'll get that sold, and all the rest of the equipment is coming with us to the new farm. So we've got the T8 320 base horsepower with a front weight. We've got the fully upgraded Case Puma, the 240. We've got the Ideal Harvester, which now has 3.1 hours on it. It was quite a long harvest. We've got the header and the Elmer's trailer to go with that. And then we've got the New Holland T6, our old friend, with wide tires and wheel weights, front loader. And that's it. So it's time now to sell our land. All right, field 18, sell. Yes. Field 19, sell. Yes. Field 20, sell. 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay. So we are now landless, and we have nearly 2 million euro in the bank. That'll give us a very, very good start in the new farm, especially since we've got all the tractors that we need to get started. We will need to spend quite a few on new implements to take care of the farm, and we'll need to buy land as well when we get there. But I think we're going to have plenty left over to upgrade a bit. So that'll be fun. All right, so I'm going to wait for the moving company to come here and pick up my equipment, get it loaded up. And I will see you all in Fenton Forest once everything is unloaded. And then we'll start buying the rest of the equipment that we need over there and get that farm up and running. So thanks a lot for watching this series. Look forward to having you join me in the next one. We'll see you real soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.